Hi there, everybody. My name is Danielle Harris, and I am the Public Information Manager for the beautiful city of Augusta, Georgia. And I'm going to just repeat myself one more time, just in case you know how technology goes. You're not always sure when it's up and running. But again, my name is Danielle Harris, and I'm the Public Information Manager for the City of Augusta. And we are so excited about Masters Week 2022, which is happening April 4th to the 10th right here in our beautiful city of Augusta. And this is such an exciting time because I feel like the whole world, their eyes are on our city. So many folks from all over the world is here, and it's just a wonderful time to see the World of Golf take place in our hometown. There's also some great things happening at the Augusta Regional Airport as well. So I'm excited that the Executive Director of the Augusta Regional Airport is joining me this afternoon for Augusta Forward TV. How are you, Mr. Jadon?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Danielle.
Awesome. So I know you're going to share a little bit about yourself in just a second, but for those of you who don't know, Mr. Jadon, he is the Executive Director of the Augusta Regional Airport, and he's been serving there for about 5.5 years. So Mr. Jadon, please tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, so I've been working in airports for about 25 years. My experience prior to coming to Augusta was in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I have worked in many different areas within airports, so I've gotten a nice diverse pool of experience. I'm also an accredited airport executive and also an international airport professional, and those are kind of very similar to a kind of like a CPA for an accountant or a professional engineer for an engineer. So those are kind of our organizational credentials. And lastly, I'm a colonel in the Army Reserve, so I continue to serve in the Army Reserves.
Well, thank you for your service. Thank you very much for your service. So let's dive right into it. Masters Week 2022. So how is your team preparing for Masters Week? Because this is a big time for you all, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is. And we're very busy in preparation right now. And everybody, it's a lot of different moving parts. For example, our facilities department, they're busy sprucing up the terminal, including the grounds, fresh paint, making sure that everything is operationally good to go. We've got a lot of additional personnel that will be coming in, not just for the airport, but also for our airport tenants. So we'll have additional air traffic controllers, we'll have ground control personnel, we will have more rental cars, and they'll add personnel that week, custodian, staff, almost anything that you can think about, we're increasing and sprucing up for Masters.
Awesome. Just how hectic do things really get at the airport? Kind of give us your perspective on this.
It is extremely hectic. And if you've been to the Augusta airport, a typical day, we kind of have a moderate amount of people that are in the terminal. And it's obviously a small terminal. And for Masters, it is slam packed, wall to wall, people in the terminal. The airlines increase not only the flight offerings, but the number of flights. So the flights into the airport will triple or quadruple that week on the commercial side. We closed down one of our runways, and we utilize that for private and commercial, and not commercial, but private and business parking. So we have hundreds of aircraft that are parked here that week for our patrons. So the whole environment just changes significantly. It's really amazing to see. But we, again, despite kind of a relatively small building, we make it all work that week.
Awesome. Well, speaking of the number of folks that will be there, what precautions is the airport taking to make sure we stay safe? I'm sure COVID-19 might still on the forefront of folks' minds. So what safety precautions are you all taking?
Yeah, and I'll touch on that from a couple of different perspectives. You mentioned COVID-19, so obviously we are still in the pandemic. From the federal side, the mask mandate is still in place, and that will come into effect at the airport in terms of once you go through the security checkpoint. So when you're being screened by TSA, the mandate is still in place. And then the airlines continue to have a mask mandate. So once you get on the airplane, you also have to have a mask on. And the airport continues to have sanitizing stations and masks available for those that need them, and those types of protocols are in place. A lot of other safety precautions or resources that will be in place that week. We have, as I mentioned, we have a lot of extra people, and those people are obviously here to manage the volume, but they're also here to increase the safety environment as well. We'll have a lot of airplanes and a lot of ground support equipment moving on the airport. So it's really important to have those additional people. I mentioned also what we call a ground control element. So these people will be with us this week, and what they will do is once airplanes are either handed to or handed off from the air traffic control, the FAA air traffic control personnel, these people will actually manage aircraft movement on the surface here in Augusta. Again, just because there's so much going on that week that adds an extra safety layer. And then I guess the last thing that I will say is that we will have personnel from our law enforcement, from our marshals, that will be here, and they'll be on the curbside helping manage vehicular traffic and different ground transportation entities. So those are just a few examples of many different safety protocols that are in place that week.
Wow, a big undertaking, but I know you all can handle it. And that's why we appreciate what you all do. And so my last question. Now, I was told that you all have some great flight deals happening Masters Week. So can you kind of tell us what that's all about?
Yeah, well, not only deals, but I guess just flight offerings. So
Okay.
normally we have just a handful of destinations to and from Augusta, but during Masters Week, because of the demand coming into Augusta, we get many more flights from many more destinations. So, and I may miss some of them, but during Masters Week, we'll have flights, direct flights from Chicago, from New York, from Philadelphia, Miami, Austin, Texas, Chicago, if I haven't already mentioned it. So we've got flights from so many different places that week. So one of the things we've actually been trying to communicate to the locals is it's an opportunity for you actually to get out of town that week if you want to, because again, we're going places where we direct, where we often don't fly to. And I kind of, right before this interview, I kind of randomly looked at, like, for example, a Augusta to Miami round trip that week, and I found one for about $239. So it's really inexpensive as well to get out of town that week, and we're encouraging the locals, if you do want to get out of town, to take advantage of that.
Well, as you all say, fly there, fly home, correct?
Absolutely. Yes,
That's right.
absolutely. And
That's
yeah,
right. And I'm from Augusta. Y'all are my hometown airport, and the customer service at AGS is impeccable. So thank you so much for what you all do. And y'all, please, let's take advantage of these prices. So is there any last words, any last things you want to share, Mr. Jadon?
Again, we look forward to the Masters. This is a full Masters. I know the last couple of years we moved the Masters one year, and then the next year it was limited patrons. So we're excited about all the people that are coming into our region that will be using the airport. And we're also, again, excited about the ability for our locals to use the airport now and during the entirety of the year. So we appreciate it. We appreciate everybody that supports the airport.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Mr. Jadon, for your time. And for those of you watching, thank you for watching Augusta Forward TV today. And be sure to head over to Augusta Regional Airport's website to check out those flights. And we look forward to seeing all of our golf patrons on Masters Week. So thank you again, Mr. Jadon, and thank you all again for watching. Bye now.